Hi everyone, we're going to do a quick little brain tweaking for a friend who has PTSD and is really stuck in a energetic quagmire. He's just really into the anger and rage at the moment and he just can't find his way out. So that's what my intention is. So okay, and hold. Okay. Is it for the highest good of this person for us to do this balance? Yes, it is. Okay. So, what's the priority? Is it the celestial circuit? Is it the adrenals? Survival? Deep survival? Okay, so it is a survival thing. Okay, so let's check deep survival and hidden. They're the two showing up. And hold. And hold, yeah. Okay, yeah, right, and it's fear, threat, danger driving the anger, which is often the case. Okay. Is there a flower essence we can use as well? Yeah, right, dog rose. So his psychiatrist often tells him to go and just hide. You know, if anything's traumatic for him, to just go hide, and that's the best way to get away from dangerous situations, even if it is just a person giving their opinion.
Yeah.
So dog rose energy is very much about wanting to go hide, not wanting to be seen. Yeah, right, it's 5 drops, fairly decent dose. Okay. Good, good. So EMC, MMC, PVSS. Just out of curiosity, which of his senses are totally overloaded? Yeah, right, it's more his 6th sense than anything. So that's really about feeling other people's energy and almost hypothesizing where it's going to go and then extrapolating that into the worst when it hasn't happened yet. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Okay, we're in, yep, just making sure. Right. So the first thing is the anterior cingulate gyrus. This part of the brain is all about moral evaluations and judgments.
Sorry, I'm so twitchy.
No, that's all good. So, hold out. And generally when this area shows up, it really picks on ourselves when we're not perfect under stress, but it also can, in some people, when it's really out of balance, expect those massive high expectations of other people as well. So it can set up OCDs and social awkwardness, and once again there's a real fear in there about not. For this guy, I sort of suspected it's about not being heard, not being believed, not being understood. But once again, it's fear. So the anger point's down here, that hasn't even shown up yet, it's all just fear driving the anger. Okay, so we're going to go down into the reticular activating system. Yeah, so he's got the noradrenaline going too, so that assumption of long-term stress, creating the vigilance, keeping an eye out for what's going on. And this is a guy who lived on the streets. He's been through some really tough times. Okay. So I'm sure the survival stuff just is second nature to his little nervous system. Yeah, and his brain doesn't want to connect logic and creativity thinking. It wants to stay in the survival. So his brain wants to run away into escape, submission, freeze, rather than allow logical, creative thinking, because the survival is all, like for him, it's truly, in his past, it's been truly life or death survival. So we need to, once again, just keep convincing his nervous system, no, it's okay. We've got you. So anything else in PBS? Yeah, okay, so orbitofrontal cortex. And hold. So that's an old pain and punishment circuit, so he's in real conflict. And this is a guy who respects honesty over everything else. So when he believes, even if someone's just being sarcastic or he sees it as untruthful, so he has a really almost fanatical belief about the truth and where it fits in our society, and that's really created some issues for him. He may not see that. He might just think that's normal to have those highest expectation of everything in regards to truth and not exaggerating and that sort of thing, but it's hard. It's just hard in his world. Okay, that's just activated another RAS circuit. So this time it's the low serotonin. It's making him want to implode in on himself. So can I just get you to put one thumb, two fingers either side of the, yeah, that's it. So it's, so that little point there is about internalizing, so going in and just thinking until the cows come home about what's going on, but it's the low serotonin that's causing him to become in, what's the word? It's like he's imploding at the moment because he feels like he's not being heard, he's not being understood. So he'll do himself damage, he won't damage anyone else. Anything else in PBSS? Okay, so I'm going to go conscious. Let's check the corpus callosum. And hold out. Yeah, so his brain's escaping rather than connecting the logical and creative hemispheres of the brain. Doesn't want to know about it. It's in freeze, so it's escape, submission, freeze. It's the freeze. So his brain's frozen without that logical creative connections. Okay, corpus callosum. And hold. Let's check the glial cells. And hold. Escape again. Glials, hold. So the mental processes are stopping the connection from left to right sides of the brain. Yeah, that's an old pain and punishment circuit. Okay, so we're talking current to 30 to 25 to 20 to 15 to 10, 10, 15 to 10, so 10 to 15. Okay, so 10 to 11 to 12 to 13, so 12 to 12 and a half, 12 and a half to 13. Okay, so going into those teenage years when the brain's doing all that fun stuff. And oxygen. So we need to get some oxygen in there. So of course panic attacks, rage, anger, stress can deplete the brain of oxygen, and you can end up with little nuclei in the brain just not getting enough. Trust and trust issues. And hold. Trust is one of the first things to shut down the connection from left to right sides of the brain. And when he doesn't trust, what this is saying is that it switches off his pleasure reward centers, then he doesn't hear stuff. So when your pleasure reward centers aren't activated, you're not releasing enough serotonin and dopamine. Serotonin and dopamine, when they're up and running, they help you to lay down memories. So then the body, if those aren't working, we just go into the old stress patterns, and the brain is really challenged, sort of laying down new stuff. Even if there's good, happy stuff going on, you just don't see it, you don't feel it. Okay, trust and trust issues. And hold, beautiful. Let's check anterior commissure. And hold. Okay, so that's the nerve connection. Let's check glials. And hold. Let's check perineuronal. So that's around the nerves, mental processes. Okay, so it's wanting to escape. Once again, that frontal cortex is about problem solving. It's about thinking things through. It's about finding solutions. When we are, anyone going through PTSD, or anxiety or panic attacks, or even depression, because a lot of these circuitries are very, very similar, your brain doesn't want to find solutions. It wants to protect you, and protection happens in the rear of the brain, solutions happen in the front of the brain. So the brain wants to escape rather than find solutions. Beautiful. Okay. Oh, now that area shuts down with sadness, despondency, depression. Hold. Escape, submission, freeze again. Yeah. And then we'll check this little area for oxygen. And that'll be about what we've got time for. Sure. And oxygen, yeah. Hold. Okay. beautiful. Okay. So let's just have a look for a correction to help to bind all this together. These are oscillation chakras, essence, cranial, chi keys, tuning forks, 5 elements. Okay, so where's the over energy blocking stuff? Yeah. So it's the imbalance between love, joy, hate, particularly small intestine energy, so an over energy in small intestine. And an under with lung energy, so lungs about grief, guilt, regret, it's about stress. So, okay, so let me have a think. So we need to shunt energy. Oh, straight over, so straight from small intestine. Cool. So, small intestine, let's check if it's even on both sides. Yep. So, that goes over the heart. Heart 7. Yep. We need to come over from heart energy over to lung. So we need lung 10. Bit tender in there. Not too bad, but yeah. And it makes sense with PTSD, that sort of energy, you know, that real imbalance with love and joy and hate, you know, and that just blocking the release of the grief and guilt and regret from the past. Okay. Anything more we need to do to close up this circuit? ES/chakra essence. Okay, so bark, bush, bush, bush. Okay, so at the moment it's Southern Cross energy, which is a real poor me energy. It's like a victim mentality, which where the nervous system just feels like the whole world's against you, and it feels like everything you try to do just backfires. So then you don't believe any of your social skills work. 5 drops.
I wanted a bit more brain.
Ew. Okay. Yes, isolation chakra, essence, cranial, chikis, tuning forks. No, beautiful. Okay, so let's just stack it in for this guy. This is a new program for this body now and in the future. The old program for this body is no longer necessary now or in the future. Okay. Thanks, Shelby. And for those of you wondering, they're peaches on her socks today. Have a great day. See you later.